Chapter 1. The setup. In the heart of a bustling city, where skyscrapers kissed the clouds and the streets hummed with life, lived a young woman named Mia. At 23, Mia was a budding journalist with dreams as big as the buildings around her. She had short, wavy hair that framed her face like a halo, and her eyes sparkled with a fierce determination. Mia's apartment was in a cozy corner of the city, filled with books and papers scattered about, each one a piece of the puzzle she was piecing together for her next big story. Mia's life took an unexpected turn when she met Lisa, a fellow journalist who seemed to have it all. A charming smile, a sleek car, and a reputation that shone brighter than the sun. Lisa quickly became Mia's mentor and friend, offering advice and opportunities that opened doors Mia never knew existed. However, as time passed, Mia noticed a darker side of Lisa's personality. She was competitive, manipulative, and always seemed to be one step ahead. One day, while working on a story about corruption in the city council, Mia stumbled upon evidence that implicated Lisa. The shock was overwhelming. How could someone she admired so much be involved in such dirty work? It felt like a betrayal, a punch to the gut. Mia's world tilted on its axis. She couldn't believe her eyes or her ears anymore. This twist set the stage for a journey that would test Mia's limits and challenge everything she thought she knew. Chapter 2. The nemesis Lisa, with her flawless exterior and cunning mind, was the embodiment of every journalist's nightmare. She had a way of making people believe whatever she wanted them to, and her charm masked a ruthless ambition. Her influence in the city's media scene was undeniable, and she used it to silence those who dared to challenge her. One evening, as Mia sipped coffee at her favorite cafe, she overheard Lisa talking to another journalist about how easy it was to manipulate stories for personal gain. The conversation chilled Mia to the bone. Lisa's voice dripped with arrogance and a touch of cruelty. She had no qualms about twisting the truth to fit her narrative. Mia's heart ached with betrayal and anger. She felt like a pawn in Lisa's game, used and discarded at will. This was more than just a professional rivalry, it was a battle for integrity and truth. Mia vowed to expose Lisa's true nature, no matter the cost. It was a pledge that would shape her every move from then on. Chapter 3. The failed attempts. Mia's first attempt to expose Lisa came in the form of an anonymous tip to the city's investigative team. She had gathered evidence of Lisa's involvement in corrupt dealings and hoped this would be enough to bring her down. However, Lisa was always one step ahead. Within days, Mia received a call from an unknown number. On the other end was Lisa, her voice dripping with disdain. "Mia, I'm disappointed," Lisa said, her tone laced with venom. "I thought you had more journalistic integrity, but it's clear you're just another ambitious fool looking to climb the ladder." The call left Mia shaken but determined. She knew she needed a better plan, one that wouldn't just bring down Lisa, but also protect herself from retaliation. Her next attempt involved reaching out to other journalists who had fallen victim to Lisa's manipulation. Mia hoped that by building a coalition, they could gather enough evidence to make their case. However, every journalist she spoke to was either intimidated or unwilling to risk their careers. It felt like hitting a brick wall. Feeling defeated but not ready to give up, Mia turned to social media. She started a blog under a pseudonym, detailing her findings and the impact Lisa's actions had on the city's integrity. The blog gained traction quickly, drawing attention from curious readers and journalists alike. However, Lisa retaliated with a smear campaign, accusing Mia of defamation and stirring up controversy. Mia found herself in a whirlwind of accusations and counter-accusations. Her reputation was at stake, and every day felt like a battle. The more she tried to expose Lisa, the deeper she seemed to fall into a web of deceit and danger. Chapter 4. Rising stakes. As Mia's efforts to bring down Lisa intensified, so did the risks she faced. One night, after publishing another damning blog post, Mia received an ominous message on her phone. "You're playing with fire, Mia," it read. The sender was unknown, but the warning was clear: back off or face the consequences. Despite the threats, Mia refused to be silenced. She decided to take a more direct approach by setting up a meeting with a key witness who had information about Lisa's corrupt dealings. This witness was hesitant at first, but eventually agreed to meet under the pretense of discussing a different story. The day of the meeting arrived, and Mia waited anxiously outside a quiet cafe. The witness arrived late, looking nervous and guarded. As they sat down, Mia could sense the tension in the air. "I know what you want," the witness said, his voice barely above a whisper. "But I'm scared. Mia's heart clenched. She knew she had to reassure him without putting him in further danger. "You're safe with me," she said, her voice steady but soft. "We can get through this together." The meeting went well, and Mia left with crucial evidence that could finally expose Lisa. However, as she walked home that night, a dark figure emerged from the shadows. It was Lisa's enforcer, a man known for his violent tactics. "You're not getting away with this," he growled, blocking Mia's path. Mia's mind raced, her heart pounding in her chest. She couldn't let him intimidate her. "I know what you're capable of," she said, trying to keep her voice calm. "But I won't back down." The enforcer hesitated, then stepped aside. Mia breathed a sigh of relief but knew the danger was far from over. Chapter 5. The lowest point. Mia's efforts to expose Lisa reached a critical point when she received an unexpected call from her editor at the city's leading newspaper. "Mia, we've got a problem," he said, his voice tight with urgency. "Lisa has threatened legal action against us if we publish your story." The news hit Mia like a punch to the gut. She felt like she was losing control of everything she had worked for. The sense of betrayal and helplessness washed over her as she realized that Lisa's influence reached even the highest levels of power. Feeling defeated, Mia retreated to her apartment, where she sat in silence, staring at the evidence scattered around her. Her mind raced with thoughts of failure and despair. She wondered if all her hard work had been for nothing. The weight of the situation was suffocating, and she felt like she was drowning in a sea of uncertainty. But amidst the darkness, a spark of determination flickered to life. Mia knew she couldn't give up now. She needed to find another way, a way to fight back against the oppressive force that Lisa had become. The thought of giving up was unbearable, and she refused to let fear dictate her actions. Chapter 6. The final attempt. Mia's resolve hardened as she decided on her final plan. She knew she couldn't rely solely on external help. She needed to take matters into her own hands. Mia began working on a documentary that would expose Lisa's corruption in a way that could not be ignored. She spent countless nights editing footage and compiling evidence, determined to present a clear and undeniable case. One evening, as Mia was finalizing the documentary, she received an unexpected visit from her old mentor, Sarah. Sarah had retired from journalism but still followed Mia's work closely. "I've seen what Lisa is doing," Sarah said, her voice filled with concern. "And I know you're right. We can't let this continue." With Sarah's support and guidance, Mia felt a renewed sense of purpose. They worked together to refine the documentary, ensuring every detail was accurate and compelling. The final cut was powerful, weaving together interviews, evidence, and personal accounts that painted a damning picture of Lisa's actions. Chapter 7. The climax. The day of the documentary premiere arrived, and Mia felt both nervous and exhilarated. She had invited key figures in the media and political spheres to witness the unveiling of her work. As the event began, the room buzzed with anticipation. Mia took a deep breath and stepped onto the stage. "Tonight, we're here to expose the truth," she said confidently, her voice clear and steady. "Lisa's actions have corrupted our city, and it's time for accountability." The documentary played, revealing Lisa's manipulations and the damage they had caused. The audience was captivated, their expressions shifting from surprise to anger as the full extent of Lisa's deceit became apparent. Lisa, who had been invited to the event, was visibly shaken. She tried to interrupt the proceedings, but was quickly silenced by the overwhelming support for Mia's work. As the documentary concluded, the room erupted into applause and calls for justice. Chapter 8. The consequence. The aftermath of the documentary premiere was a whirlwind of media attention and public outcry. Lisa's reputation took a severe hit, and she found herself under intense scrutiny from both the press and legal authorities. Mia's work had not only exposed Lisa, but also sparked a broader conversation about ethical journalism and accountability in the city. Mia received numerous accolades for her bravery and integrity. She was offered a position at a prestigious news network, where she could continue her mission to fight corruption and uphold journalistic standards. The victory tasted bittersweet, however, as she knew the fight against deceit and manipulation was far from over. Chapter 9. The resolution. In the months that followed, Mia's life took on a new sense of purpose. She continued to work tirelessly, using her platform to advocate for transparency and ethical practices in journalism. Her experiences with Lisa had taught her valuable lessons about the importance of integrity and the power of perseverance. Mia's journey from a hopeful journalist to a determined crusader against corruption was a testament to her resilience and dedication. She had faced countless obstacles and emerged stronger, not just as a journalist, but as a person who stood for what she believed in. One evening, as Mia sat in her office, looking out at the city skyline, she felt a sense of peace. The battle with Lisa may have ended, but the fight for truth and justice was an ongoing one. She smiled, knowing that each day brought new opportunities to make a difference. Mia's story was far from over. She had become a beacon of hope in a world often shrouded in darkness, inspiring others to stand up against corruption and fight for what is right.